Hi guys, my name is Aubrey Bowen and I am going to be giving a presentation on why so many Pakistanis own guns. Okay, here are the facts. As of right now, the estimated total number of guns held by civilians in Pakistan is 18 million. The shocking part is that only 7 million of those people with guns own them legally. That means that 11.6 out of every 100 people in Pakistan own a gun illegally. As for the government, the number of law enforcement firearms is only 418,871. So, why are guns so important and why do so many people feel that they need them? Like we saw on the slide before, the government isn't very strong. If there are only 418,871 guns held by law enforcement, you can see that that is only a fraction of the 18 million guns held by civilians, whether it is legal or not. Along with the government not being very strong, here are some numbers to show why else it is important to own a gun. The total number of homicides annually in Pakistan in 1996 was 9,062. In 1998, it was 10,246. In 2002, it was 9,396. In 2008, it was 12,597. In 2014, just 3 years ago, at Army Public School, 145 people were killed by the Taliban, including children. In this picture, you can see a soldier in one of the halls after the shooting. Looking at all of the bullet holes in the wall, you can only imagine how scared the children and teachers were having to be in the school at the time of the shooting. For Pakistan, guns are not only needed for protection, but they are also used as part of their culture. Sometimes in their culture, guns mean having power and or being wealthy. They are also used during wedding celebrations and shot off into the sky. Mohammed Havid Afridi is another reason why people feel they need to own a gun. He was driving home and stopped by a group of masked men with AK-47s who then kidnapped him. The men blindfolded him and took him to a secluded house where he was then tied to a bed for 25 days. They wanted a ransom of 6 million rupees in order to set him free, but after the men had gotten more comfortable with having Afridi there, they gave him scissors in order to cut his beard. While the men were away, he used those scissors to cut himself free and escape back to his family. Once he was free, he wanted revenge on the men that kidnapped him, so he decided to turn to the police for help. But all they did was give him 4 temporary gun permits, which would allow him to carry any automatic assault rifle. He decided that would be enough, and with those permits, he bought 2 AK-47s in order to be able to protect his family and himself in the future. As for gun laws in Pakistan, there are no restrictions on shotguns. The regulation of firearms in Pakistan is categorized as permissive, so you are pretty much free to do as you please once you have your license. A license is required to purchase a firearm. Acquisition of the license involves a fee of $50, a processing time ranging from a few days to months, and registration of the firearm with local authorities. It is also important to remember that it is 10 times more expensive to buy a gun from local authorities than it is illegally. So you can see why so many people buy guns illegally. It is not required on the application to prove any past history or likelihood of family violence. No testing or training is required before owning a firearm. This seems a little risky to have people owning guns that aren't sure how to use them and that haven't had the proper training. In closing, I figured since we are reading her book, I would read a quote by Malala. They thought a bullet would silence us, but they failed. Nothing changed in my life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born.